This is Take a Cue, Season 3, Episode 6.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey there, music educators. Welcome to Season 3 of Take a Cue, the podcast that hits all the right notes when talking about teaching band in elementary, middle, and high schools. I'm Erik Donough.
And I'm Jen Wise. Together, we've got 40 years of experience in New Jersey public schools, and we're here to share our passion, our insights, and a few laughs along the way.
Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned pro, Take a Cue is your backstage pass to inspiring your students, navigating the highs and lows of band directing, and making every rehearsal count.
From innovative teaching strategies to the best way to handle those tricky moments, we've got tips, stories, and expert advice to keep you motivated and make your program shine.
If you're enjoying what you hear, please remember to give us a 5-star rating and leave a review on your favorite podcast app. Your feedback helps us bring more great content your way.
And let's keep the conversation going. You can interact with us and stay updated on all things Take a Cue by following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Take a Cue Podcast. We'd love to hear your thoughts, answer your questions, and see how you're applying our tips in your classroom.
So, grab your baton, tune up those instruments, and join us as we dive into the world of band directing with a fresh perspective and a lot of enthusiasm.
Get ready to take your teaching to the next level. This is Take a Cue.
Jen.
Hey.
How's it going?
Oh, it's good. Happy spring to you.
Happy spring. Yes, I've been choking over here on the pollen, so I'm going to mute and cough here for a moment.
Wait, no, my
Take it away, Jen. Wait. Jen has to do the same thing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And we're back. So, oh my goodness. New Jersey is so beautiful here in the spring, but we really are drowning in pollen. My poor students are like coming into their lessons with like watery eyes. You know, you want to ask them like, oh, sweetie, what's wrong? Like, do you need a minute? Do you need to go? You know, no, they're just like, we really are drowning in pollen here. I like sent 2 kids to the bathroom, you know, on their way to their lesson. I was just like, just go splash some water on your face, like get whatever's in your eyes out. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad for them.
And we had a big rainstorm a couple days ago, but I guess the pollen wasn't done. So now it's all over everything.
No, it was like, ooh, you watered me, and then boom, like the last 24 hours have been like, whoa, really, really intense. So
yes.
My goodness, yeah.
But it's good to be back, Jen. It's been a little while since you and I have gotten a chance to chat. Just life is busy.
Oh yeah, but in the best ways, I think, right? For you, you know. And yeah.
Well, in some good ways, yes.
Yeah, I mean, spring break stuff, like that was great. So, we had our spring break. We went on a little vacation. We did a little trip, you know, over Easter.
Ooh, where'd you go?
We did a cruise out of Miami, 3 nights.
Whoa.
Yeah, we hit Nassau and a surprise day at sea. We were supposed to do another island or 2, but that's okay. It was a beautiful ship. Like, we had a great time. TJ's first plane ride, TJ's first, you know, cruise, his first like big vacation that wasn't like to our own shore house. So
okay.
It was great. We had a really, really fun time. We did end up going away like over Easter. So the last like week or so, we've been just catching up with family that we didn't get to see for the holiday. So
got it. And maybe on a little sleep.
Yes. Yeah. It was really good. So, how about you guys? What was spring break like for you?
Spring break was the week before Easter for us. Everybody except Cindy. So I was home with the girls, and Maggie got sick with the flu on the Friday before break.
Oh no. Then
Kate got sick on like the Monday of break.
Okay.
And then I had a little, and then like she was done. They had no fevers for more than a day or 2. And then toward the end of break, I started getting a little bit of a stuffy nose. No fever, nothing like that. And turns out I had COVID.
Oh.
So it was an interesting break here at the Donough Infirmary.
Yeah. Oh, bummer. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. You know, honestly, I wouldn't have even known except my mom. And so she was like, you want one of these expired COVID tests? And I was like, ha, sure. So, of course, I took it.
Yeah.
And I had COVID.
And that's what happened. Oh, bummer.
But, I get the vaccine every year and the booster every year. So really it was just like the sniffles and that was it.
Okay. Well,
So,
that's good. That's kind of comforting. Yeah. I had two back-to-back mystery viruses about 10 days apart that sent me to bed with a fever and nastiness like right before break. I was like, oh no, am I going to be sick for a trip? But luckily I was over it, before that. But oh man, these spring viruses going around, are a lot.
Well, luckily it looks like we're both on the mend.
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
And we're back at it, and we're about to dive headfirst into concert season and all those great things. I just got back from the NAFME All Eastern Conference, which was really, really cool. So that was the week after spring break. Just last, Thursday and Friday. And I was on the fence. Like by the time it rolled around, I was like, ooh, now my concert's only 3 weeks away. Like, can I afford to, lose rehearsal? Can I, but it was worth it. It was great. I got the chance to present, the research we did last year, based around, us here at Take a Cue. And, awesome. It was very well received. I got to talk to a lot of people. Hopefully, welcome to those of you that are new listeners that I met at All Eastern. That was a really great week. I did the new research poster session and then went over to the UConn alumni reception where I was very well recepted. But
you're a famous alum.
No, well, I have, are famous and old interchangeable because I felt so old. Oh my gosh, I felt so old. All of the faculty was different. I mean, it's been more than 20 years. So, or just about 20. So, I felt very old, but I had plenty to say to the undergrads just about to step out there and go teach. So, and no problem telling a few of them, like, just go do it. Like, just apply, just get out there, because I after talking to 2 or 3 fifth year seniors about to graduate with, a BA in music and a master's in music. And it was just kind of like, they're like, oh, I need some time for myself. I need a little bit of time off. I was like, no. This is the most momentum you're ever going to have. Go out there and teach and go do it. Like, so I was baffled. So again, after like hearing that story more than once and having a glass of wine, I let a few undergrads know that they, but again, I was still very well received. And it was, we went on the steps of UConn Hartford and sang the alma mater. And it was very, very cool to meet all the new music education faculty. So, thanks for that experience. That was pretty cool. So
it sounds awesome. What a career highlight right there.
That was fun. That was really interesting and fun. Caught up with, a couple, people who did graduate around the same time as me that I haven't seen in a while, that are, out, all over the country teaching now. But shout out to Aaron Burgess over at Ithaca College. We caught up quite a bit, and
go Bombers.
He's right. That's right. And Eric's an Ithaca alum, so that was really cool to catch up with you and hear all the cool stuff going on in Ithaca. And that's great. So that awesome. It was a good weekend. Totally worth the trip. Happy to get out there. So
Jen, I'm thinking about what you mentioned about recent grads or mm-hmm. students who are about to graduate.
Yeah.
And all right, you were the nice one. You said just get out there and do it. You just rah do it. Mm-hmm. You're the awesome cheerleader. I want Jen to go and just visit all the undergrads at mm-hmm. all the universities and just tell them do it.
I'm happy to do that. I'm
going to be the mean guy.
Yeah. Oh, we'll play good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, I'm going to be the bad cop.
Okay. All right. Okay.
If you just graduated and you don't want to teach, for the love of God, don't go teach.
Oh yeah. So there's that point of view also.
Yes. Yes. Just mm-hmm. because you have the teaching degree mm-hmm. doesn't mean you have to go teach.
Yeah.
There are people out there who get the degree and they've said, well, I've put in the time, don't really want to teach, but I don't have anything else to do. So I'm going to go and, I'm going to go into the classroom. If you don't love it and you don't want to be there, look, nobody wants to be there all the time, right? There are days that you and I have where we're just like, I'm not in it right now.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. But
yeah.
That being said, if you don't want to teach, don't go teach.
Yeah.
There are lots of other options that you can use your degree work for and the things that you've learned and your amazing mind for, but you got to want to do it if you're
That
out
is
there
true.
doing it.
It really is. Yeah, no, I hear you. That is good. So I think we have a lot to say. So
Was I too blunt?
nope, not in the least.
Okay.
Not at all.
But before we get into like talking about getting out there and starting the job, well, how's like the end of the school year going here for you, Jen? I mean, we're now in quarter 4.
Mm-hmm. We are.
How are the bands? How are the concerts coming? How are all of all the craziness? How's it going?
It's good. I mean, the bands are going to get to that finish line. We're only, I don't want to say only, but we're doing 3 pieces on our program, plus like a little rah-rah finale kind of thing. And we're one of them is like 3 movements. So that's it. Yeah. So we're doing like three solid pieces with the band. We're going to play Primetime Parade by Tyler Arcari. New to me, new march for me. We just did, one of my groups did it at the All Township concert, and I think I really like it. So we're going to start our program with a march. And then we're doing First Classic Suite by Mike Hannicle. So it's like 3 short classical melodies arranged for beginning band. So Rondo alla Turca, Morning from Peer Gynt's Suite, and Spring from the Four Seasons. So
it is that's such a perfect concert for this time of year.
Isn't that lovely? I was like, oh, this is great. So that's like the meat of the program. And then we're going to finish with Revenge of the Dust Bunnies by Dan Adams.
We should just call it Pollen.
Right.
Revenge of the Pollen.
Oh my gosh. Revenge of the ragweed. So, and I have to tell you, in the community we teach, and I do have to explain what a dust bunny is to most kids. So that's been kind of interesting. And I'm like, you see that right there, that's a dust bunny. So I'm
happy to take some pictures of my office space right now.
Right, exactly.
Send them to the kids.
Yeah. So it does involve on stage vacuum cleaners and a little fanfare at the But as we all know, dust comes back. So there's like a little, leitmotif at the end where the dust bunnies come back. So
oh my gosh,
so they're having a great time with that. It's a little bit polarizing. Some students are like, I hate that piece, and everybody else is like, I love that piece. So it's you're on either side of the fence with that one, but we are having a good time with that one. So
oh man, it sounds like a piece that they'll definitely remember.
I hope so. Yeah. How about you? What's on the menu for your spring performances?
Well, we've got 3 performances lined up this spring. One of them is done. The Old Township concert is finished. And then we've got our spring concert, and we've got our festival at the end of May. So this year, I think I mentioned on one of our previous episodes, I decided to not plan the same pieces for all the performances, but give out 5 or 6 different band pieces to pick and choose from. Some are getting repeated, some are not. And as a matter of fact, our most challenging one, we're not even playing for the concert. We're doing that at the festival. So yeah, it's something new for me. The band, I think, is appreciating the fact that it's not getting boring.
Okay.
Doing the same pieces for all the performances and all of that. We get to liven it up a little bit. We're doing Fearless by Carol Britton Chambers, which is a piece that I found, I don't know, a year or 2 ago. I think it was actually around the time we interviewed her in our first season. I'm not sure she talked about it, but on our podcast, because we did more of the younger level stuff. But it's a really great piece, very energetic, reminds me a lot of marching band. And so the kids really enjoy it. It's a little on the challenging side, but they're doing a nice job with that. We're not doing that till festival on May 30th.
Okay.
Let's see. We've got And Good Night, which is based on Brahms' Lullaby, and it's by local composer. Well, he was local, Chris Bernatas here in New Jersey. And the kids love it. They sound beautiful on that. He writes it really well that it could be played by an ensemble, even if your certain sections are a little, smaller or quieter. He writes it well and scores it well.
I'm familiar with that one. That's a nice piece. Yeah, most bands at the level you're teaching can make that one sound really lovely. So.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes, and I just wanted a chance for the group to really sound beautiful. We've got we're doing a Shostakovich Waltz number 2. I know it's arranged by James Kurnow, and it's fantastic. For middle school band, they're playing it. Well, it's written in 3, but we're playing it in 1, and it really is. The kids love it. I think if you polled the band, this is their favorite piece, more than the music from Wicked, which we're also playing, more than And It Begins by Haley Woodrow, Woodrow, more than they love Waltz number 2 by Shostakovich.
Okay. Game on. Let's go. All right.
But anyway, his arrangement is also really good because we have a very small brass section. I have 4 trumpets, 1 horn, 2 trombones, 2 tubas. That's it.
Oh, wow.
I do have 2 bari saxes, 3 tenor saxes, and 1 bass clarinet. He writes it really well. Again, it's scored well for the groups that may have smaller sections in particular parts of the band. But yeah, it's a great tune. If you're out there and you're a middle school band director, maybe you have a higher level 7th grade group or an 8th grade group that's solid, this is a great one to program.
Cool. I'll have to look it up. I don't know that one. That's cool.
Yeah. The kids are doing well. I wrote here in our notes that band is sounding good, but their mental and breathing stamina needs work. Do you run into this, Jen, with the pieces for elementary school are kind of short anyway, generally. You're doing a 3-movement work.
Yeah.
But they get to breathe in between those movements. I'm finding, especially for Fearless, which is a little bit longer and has multiple sections and it's very energetic, just keeps going, that we normally do rehearsals of okay, we'll play for 30 seconds and then stop and then fix. And we'll play for 30 seconds, then we'll stop and we'll fix. Then we'll play for 30 seconds. So we do 30 seconds at a clip, and then there's time to relax the brain.
Right.
But then you play a 5-minute long piece, and my kids, they just stop counting rests. They count measures wrong. Fearless, by the way, has 4/4, 3/4, 2/4, back and forth. So if they're not really on, they lose their spots.
Yeah.
So we're working right now on just longer sections, just playing without stopping. Do you run into this too with elementary, or?
I do, because this Dust Bunnies thing is a whole oh my gosh, 80 measures. So, but that's a lot for them. We're we're getting to the point where we've finished the learning process. We're trying to piece it together, and they get about 50 measures in, and they're we're doing the whole thing. Aren't we gonna can we cut? No, we're gonna try and do the whole thing. But with 3 weeks left, right? I do find there's a big dip in their endurance just this week, right? Especially right after spring break.
Yes.
I'd say about 60% of my group did not touch their instruments over spring break. I don't hold it against them. I understand.
I think that's probably the same for my group.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it might be more. I don't know, but I'm naive. So, the endurance takes a huge dip now, but then we work to build it up. Yep. So I'm very vocal about it. I'm you don't sound as good as you did, 40 measures ago. Why? Let's talk about it. How do we fix that? We go through that whole process at our level, but if they don't take the initiative to play through the whole piece at home, and that's a lot of time and a lot of it's a big investment for them, that it is really hard to build that endurance in rehearsal when you only see them so often,
and you really want them going back and practicing and fixing their mistakes at home.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the endurance factor is tough. That's a threshold. I guess they should be breaking with you, right? They should be breaking in 8th grade. Can I play a 3-minute piece? No problem. Can I play a 5-minute piece?
Yeah.
Well, that's a totally new thing that, you're pushing them to do. Especially when most of the music they consume is less than 5 minutes.
Sure. 2.5 minutes.
So that's that I really do think is like, that's a threshold. Like that's a thing, that's a hurdle. That's something we have to get over as we're entering high school,
Yeah. I mean, some of it is physical, especially for the brass.
Yeah.
Especially for the high brass.
Right. Totally.
Playing up. And a lot of these pieces are playing, for trumpets. Our listeners might hear this and think, oh, well, that's not very high. But like some of these trumpet parts are kind of like hanging up on F and G at the top of the staff. And for 8th grade students in Heritage Middle School, that's high.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, it's not screaming.
No.
But it's something they definitely aren't super comfortable playing up to all the time and for the time they need it. So like that's part of it. But even like my flute players and my clarinetists, it's not so much physical. It's just the mental stamina of focusing.
Yeah. Right. For that amount of time.
Focusing hard for this amount of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here at Take a Cue, we have 40 years of experience between the two of us. Do you find that has changed over the years? Or do you find that is this a new issue? Or are you seeing it more than you were? Or is it just you're challenging? I don't know. I got to ask because it's like, it's a problem. We got to figure out the root of it and then figure out how to fix it. So is this a new problem or?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it's a new problem. I will say this piece does present some more challenges as far as mental stamina than some, because a lot of pieces will just stay in 4/4 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And they're more...
They repeat whole sections,
Yeah, they're repetitive and they're, you just kind of, what's coming up. Right? Everything is an 8-measure phrase or a 16-measure section, and you kind of know where it goes. But on Fearless... this is trickier than some of the stuff that I've done with some previous groups in the fact that, again, it goes from like 4/4 to 2/4 to 3/4 to 4/4. So like, and if you're resting in there and you're not counting the right number of rests per measure, like you just see a whole rest.
Right. Exactly. Yep.
Is it 4? Is it 3? Is it 2? So just keeping that mental stamina, I think for this piece requires more than for some of the other concert and contest pieces, overture style pieces that we've done.
Sure.
So I don't think it's the kids.
Okay.
I don't think they're any different than my 8th graders 10, 15 years ago.
Okay. I was just curious.
No, it's a good question. It's a really good question. Do you find that with elementary kids? Do you find that they're drastically different than they were when you started?
As people, yes, but as musicians, no.
No, that's a really good distinction.
Yeah, we're running into the same musical issues we were before. We're running in the same physical issues we were, just a little bit magnified, a little bit amplified, a little less self-aware, but a little more in other like in different places. It's just as people we're slightly different as 10-year-olds, but as musicians we're running into the same stuff we were.
Yeah. Music hasn't changed a whole lot.
Nope.
At its core.
At its core, learning beginning instrumental is about the same.
Yeah.
So
hopefully we're doing it a little better now than we were 20 years ago.
I hope so, but I don't know, and we have more tools, so that's nice.
Yes, the tools are different. This is true. So before we get off of this subject, if our listeners are running into some of the same issues of just like mental stamina, even more than just being able to physically play longer, I found that I'm doing more longer runs now, 2 weeks before the concert, than maybe I have in the past. And I think that helps.
Okay.
Training them to go, okay, we're doing 2 minutes here without stopping. Okay, we're doing 3 minutes here. It's like running a race.
Yeah.
You can't just all of a sudden do a marathon after, long distance training for 2 days. So mentally, I'm just getting them prepared to do the multiple sections with transitions without stopping.
Yeah. I think that's
maybe
a good way.
Earlier than I normally do. Sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I think I that's a good thing. I think that can be really effective. Listening helps. Like if they're willing to just put it on in the background as they study, I think that helps also. Or, as they do other things in their day, I'm encouraging that a lot with my students right now. Like just listen to it. Like just absorb it. And see if you have a better concept of your part, if you just listen. So
we should do that too. That's a good suggestion. I think I'm going to make sure that I point that out to the kids.
Yeah. Tell them, Mrs. Weiss said so. And no, but I do feel like if, in our 20-minute or 30-minute lesson, I'm saying 20 because that's all I pretty much got today, and that's a whole other story. But in our 30-minute lesson, I don't have time to always go deep into listening every week. So I suggest they do those things at home now. So some of them do it. Oh,
yeah, I like that. Yeah. All right. Pre-service teachers who are about to get out into the field.
Okay.
We had touched on that in our conversation earlier about UConn.
Yes. Well, you're the one with one in your classroom right now. Is he finished? Is your student teacher on his way out, or what's going on there?
Well, this is a really interesting situation for Mr. Box.
Okay.
First off, he has his job lined up for next year. He already got hired like 2 weeks ago. He went in for an interview and they called him like the next day and they're like, "We want you to come here."
Mazel tov.
Which is fantastic. So that's awesome. As an aside, our orchestra teacher is out on leave.
Okay.
Right now, and the district was kind of struggling to figure out what to do to provide her students, lessons and orchestra stuff. So for a couple weeks, Brendan and I were covering only her orchestra classes, her ensemble classes. Her lessons were canceled while they figured out what to do. Our principal came to us and said, what would you think about us using your student teacher to cover those classes? Now, Montclair has very specific rules about what you can and can't use interns for.
Okay.
And one of those things you are not allowed to use them for is substituting.
Oh.
They're not allowed to be subbing. They're not allowed to be in a classroom without a certificated staff member, even if they have their sub certificate.
Okay.
They don't want their student teachers getting taken advantage of. Okay. And I totally get that.
Sure.
So I went to my administrator and I said, "Look, I totally get, like, he knows our department. He knows what's going on. He knows our kids. The kids know him. I totally get why you want to do that. But I can't let that happen because this is what the university says." And he's not ours. He's the university's.
Right.
And our principal was totally on board, totally understood. And I had the thought one night as I was getting ready for bed, what if he graduated early?
Okay.
And just what if he finished his classwork early and then just became a sub? So I emailed the university, the head of the student teaching department over there. And I said, "Look, he's already doing more hours than he's supposed to, just within our program."
Right.
They're like, okay, they do 3 periods a day. We have 9 periods in a day.
Right.
My intern was doing 4 to 5.
Right.
Every day. So he's doing more than he already was supposed to. I said, "Look, is there any way he could graduate early or at least finish the course early?
Yeah.
And then become a substitute in our school, paid, to cover this teacher who's on leave?" And to my surprise, the university wrote back and said, "Yes, you can have him on this date.
Oh.
He can be finished on this date as long as his, all of his paperwork is in and all of his, all of his observations are done and all of that." They let him actually finish the course early.
Okay.
And then he became a full-time sub.
Like a sub. Oh my goodness.
And now he is doing the work of our orchestra teacher 5 periods a day.
Wow. Okay. That's so exciting. I didn't know that was going on by you. That's so cool.
Yeah. So he's going to be conducting the concert. He's running the dress rehearsal. He's doing it all.
Taking them to the festival, and I'm assuming. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yep. He'll be conducting at the festival and leading that. So yeah.
Wow.
And he was on board too. If any of our listeners out there are hosting pre-service teachers or maybe doing internships in the future, it's really important to be an advocate for your intern. So he and I chatted multiple times beforehand saying, are you sure this isn't overwhelming? Are you sure this is what you want to do? You know, don't just do it because you feel like obligated to or whatever. I said, you know, if this is not going to work, you need to tell me. And then I would go and advocate for him to the administration.
Okay.
I didn't want him to feel like he had to go to the administration and say, I'm not cool with this, or this isn't, you know,
this isn't going to work for me.
Comfortable
Or
whatever. So I said, so anybody who may be in this position, remember, you're the advocate for your intern.
That's so exciting.
But he was on board. He was like, yeah, let's do it. He's happy to get paid.
I bet, you know, oh my gosh.
And yeah, so he's going to be doing everything, which is wild.
That's so
pretty
great.
fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good for him. That's so cool. Way to go.
So he's had a great experience. I mean, I've had a great experience with him this year. I hope he would agree that he's had a great experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, buddy, chime in on social media. Let's get out there. So I had a similar experience during student teaching. Like
talk to me about
it. A short-term thing. My cooperating teacher went down to Florida to visit her sister. Turned out she was interviewing for jobs, which was a whole other thing. And ended up leaving at the end of the year.
Oh, how scandalous.
It's all good. All is well. But she left me with the band for a week, and that was cool. And then the vocal teacher, she got vocal notes. And I did not have the same kind of contract, UConn, with the district I was student teaching in. So I ended up like working with the 7th grade choir, lessons and rehearsals and the whole thing. And it just was the kind of thing, everything was team taught. So there was already another music teacher in the room. So that buffer was already there. And yeah, my last couple observations as a student teacher were like, I was like, yep, I'm here. I'm in with the 7th grade choir every day. It's like, wait, you're student teaching with band. Well, this is a whole other thing going on. Sorry. Here I am. So, so it was kind of an adventure. And I learned a lot, not paid, not a full-time, leave replacement situation. Because again, everything was team taught. So once I was out of there, it was kind of like whoever was in the room just took over that rehearsal. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot to, to handle as a 20-year-old or 21-year-old.
It was, but like, it was a really, really, I've talked before about my student teaching placement on here that like, it was like Disneyland for music. Very strong, like K to 12, like cohesion. So I pretty much could pinpoint exactly where they were in the whole like fire robin method, and we just kind of picked it up and ran with it. So cause the curriculum was solid, we had a language that we all kind of could use and that it worked fine. So yeah. Wow. That's the thing. It happens.
But it got you really ready.
Got me very ready, especially with like zero piano skills. So that was, whoops.
You and me both.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow. So Jen, we've got in the spring here, we've got some state testing coming up.
We do.
I imagine a lot of our listeners have state testing or have already had state testing in their states. How does that affect you and your band?
Oh my gosh.
And orchestras.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's the worst of all worlds, I feel like for me this year, because I am assigned to test a student, small group, one student in my room with me for all like 8 hours of testing, whatever it ends up being. It's just me and him. And it's because he's allowed to like read the test aloud to himself and use the scribe functions on his computer and all that.
I've done the same in the last couple of years. I get it.
Yeah. And that's fine. They could do that. That's okay. It's a student I know. He's in my program. That's great. Like, that's fine. The thing that's just so rough is that like I'm not always in that building on testing days, right? So my communication with my students in the other building is really cut down because like that, that time in the morning where it's like you drop your instrument off and hey, we're going to meet after testing and this is the time you're going to come for your lesson. And that time is this doesn't exist, for me. So I'm hoping that the teachers like follow through and post the lesson schedule that I give out for the afternoon after testing's over. Because they're just so fried. I don't know about by you, but by the time they get to me, they're just vegetables in the afternoon. It's so hard for the younger ones. So and testing ends like somewhere in the teens, and my concert is May 21st. So we've got I have 3 weeks of testing coming up, and then during the third week is my concert. So we're gonna run right up to that. It was worse before. I wasn't allowed to do before school rehearsals during testing in the past. So, but this year I can. So there is no mention of no rehearsals during testing. Like I don't count it against them for attendance. If they miss during testing, I don't outwardly say that because then they're all sleeping. Yeah. But just in my own. Or if they
listen to this podcast now, they know.
Oh my gosh, guys, just come to band. Okay, just come to band.
You get an F if you don't.
Yeah, totally. Still, I'm gonna so yeah, that's kind of what we're dealing with at the elementary level. Sure. How about you?
Our concert is in the middle of testing.
Oh, that's so sad.
Well, that's okay. Honestly, look, there's so much going on in the last quarter of the year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you try to avoid one thing, you're going to mess up something else. You're going to butt up into something else. I honestly didn't even, when we got in New Jersey, for our listeners in other states, New Jersey just gives you like 6 weeks that you can do the testing. Yeah. Like your district can choose to do the testing during any of those weeks. Mm-hmm. So it just so happened that our district chose to do the testing during the week of our concert. And in the past, we've been told there were years, this might have even been at a different school, where we were told, no, you can't do a concert on the night before testing.
Right.
And so I just went to our principal and I was like, I just want to let you know that I saw the testing schedule. Our concert is scheduled for right in the middle of the testing week. And like I said, if we need to move anything, just let me know now because I'm happy to do it. But I just wanted to let you know. And he's like, it's fine. Okay. So it's fine with me too.
Okay.
Totally
there
fine.
It is. That's
I mean,
good.
look, our concert started at 7:00 for 8th graders. Most of them are up playing video games like later than that. Anyway.
Oh, that's so true. That is so true. Oh yeah.
Our concerts usually go till about 8:15 and then they go home like, 8:30, 8:45.
Let's be real. Then they go out for ice cream. Like,
well, yes, of course.
I know.
Or whatever. So, so look, I get it. Is it ideal? Probably not. But if we don't do that, we're going to butt up against some other field trip, or we're going to have some presentation or the school musical or all of this stuff. So we're just going to do it and it's going to be great. And I'm fine with it.
Okay. That's good.
It is what it is.
It is. I know this is one of those, the next couple of weeks are just hands up. It is what it is. Like
this is 40 years of teaching experience right here, Jen.
Exactly. That's what it feels like. I know. It is what it is. I know. I'm not quite as far along as like, I'm just like, the 15th and the 30th. Like, that's what I'm here for. Like, I'm not quite that far, but I'm at the point where I'm like, it is what it is.
Yes.
So yeah.
Look, you can get upset or you could, get really nervous or whatever, but you know what? The concert's going to be fine.
Yeah. Yep. It will happen.
I think what it is, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that we are confident enough in our abilities as educators to know that we're going to be okay.
Oh, it's totally that. Oh no.
She just looked around the room. If you're not watching on YouTube, Jen just looked around the room.
Oh yeah. I was like, yeah, definitely that part,
We're gonna go with that though.
Oh well yeah, we'll roll with that. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I know. So just be with us, take a deep breath and let state testing just roll on. And we're all going to make it. You know what is kind of getting to me lately? I'm having a hard time dealing with those couple of kids that like, you feel like they have a lot of potential, or you've like invested a lot in them, and you kind of thought they were with you, like you thought they were along for the ride, and then all of a sudden they're just like, yeah, I'm not even doing this anymore next year. Like, I'm not even doing this next year anyway. Like, I'm getting that every once in a while, and I know the numbers, like I know how many go on to the middle school. I know the numbers, but like I'm having a hard time dealing with that conversation right now.
And that really happens.
It does. It happens all the time. And I don't know if you're probably not dealing with that as much at the 8th grade level. You probably already know who's headed on to high school and not, and whatever. But like at the elementary level, you know, it's a pretty good number of them that don't continue on or go to a different. And I'm just like,
it's hard not to take it personally.
Yeah, right. Like, because I feel like we've been through a thing. I had them 2 years, and we've been through a thing. Like we started an instrument. It's like, well, don't you love this? Don't you want to do this forever? You know, and and they're like, no. And then I don't know, man. That's kind of how I'm just having a hard time with that conversation this year. I don't know if there's a dog cameo coming up. I don't know if you guys hear her nails on the floor. So.
Can't wait. This is why you have to watch on YouTube.
That's right. So Roxy, get over here. Roxy, do this. Come.
Roxy will make anybody feel better.
I know. She's going in the yard.
We're not cutting this out.
Yeah. Is there? Do I just have to just like? Yeah. She doesn't want to hang out with us. She's going in the yard.
Oh, sorry.
But
Back
that's
to
okay.
serious conversation.
Yeah, serious things. But like I'm having a hard time dealing with that conversation this year. I don't know. So I don't know. Anybody else want to chime in on that out there in the world? Like I'm having a tough time with that one.
I totally get it, because like you said, you've invested time, you've invested yourself in these students, and you know that there are some you probably knew like in the first month that, oh yeah, these kids aren't going to be, they don't come to lessons. Right. Or they just kind of sit there and they don't play. But it definitely it hits different when it's a kid who does come to lessons, and you've created a rapport with, and you know that they've gotten better.
Right.
And then they're like, well, I'm not doing it next year. I'm assuming those are the ones you're talking about.
Yeah, totally. Those are the ones. And, it's starting to, Tom's creeping around here.
Hey, Tom.
So just come on
Oh,
over.
he can't hear me.
Yeah, he can't hear you because you're in my headphones. But I don't know. It's getting me. So Tom's in a new district this year. If you missed that on previous episodes, and he's just rolling in after a parent meeting, like we said. Oh, there he is. Tom, you want to join the conversation? Like, does that happen to you? Our kids. Did you hear the beginning of this?
I'm sorry, I had a dog barking at me until I opened the door.
Okay. Have you had any kids this year that are just like, I'm not doing this next year?
All right, get up on the mic there, Tom.
I haven't warmed my voice up yet.
Okay, all right. So Tom, we're talking about like not the kids that like never come to lessons and you're like, why'd you even join band? I'm not talking about those kids. I'm talking about the kids who like come to lessons, who have made good progress this year, who you have a good rapport with, and then they're like, oh, I'm not doing band next year.
The heartbreakers.
Yes.
I've had a few in my career and they still sting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're the kind that they haunt you for a while. But Jen keeps telling me, don't define yourself by it. Like we have a support system here, but it is really hard in those situations not to take it personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
I can identify. This year I haven't had it, and I don't know if it's my rookie season in the new place or what, or maybe my new district is just the kids are built different. But I definitely have had that, and I've been fortunate at this point. Haven't encountered it yet this year. Probably that's like, jinxing it. So we'll see. I wish I had more advice for it.
But at least our listeners know that they're not alone. If
you are not alone. Yeah, it gets us all. And we just have to keep telling ourselves that, this is it's an experience that they have, and while we define ourselves as musicians, And as music teachers, and this is like has become our whole lives. This is just something they do. And while we can lead them to the water, we can't make them drink it as much
That's
as we
true.
wish we could.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They're better for having the experience with us.
Yes, for sure.
Even if they don't continue on, they're better people because they had us. We're just going to go
Who
with
can
that.
say if they've been changed for the better? But because they knew us.
Give me those headphones.
Yes.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom. Oh, well, that was an exciting cameo. We're definitely putting that in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah, but and what I just said to Tom was it's even if they don't continue after us, that those kids are better because they had us. They're better humans.
Yeah.
Because they had the experience with us, and maybe that can be a little bit of comfort.
Okay. I will try.
Even if knowing that they're not going to continue on, they're not going to be, they're not going to keep, increasing their skill levels and all that stuff. I mean, they were here for us, and we made them better. Okay.
I get that, and hopefully they have some kind of soft spot or respect or something for what goes on in music education.
So Jen, what's our motivation? What's our motivation for the rest of the year? You are a motivational person.
You
know where to find good motivation.
I'm trying, and I refuse to use the B word. I refuse to use the word like burnout. Right?
I was thinking, what's the B word?
Yeah, well, listen.
This is a G-rated podcast,
right, girl? I'm today. I refuse to use the B word. There are other days where I'm like, oh, I understand the B word, but today, no. And because I read on Peter Boonschaft's blog that lands in my inbox, every so often. I don't know how. I haven't really tracked how often he sends it out, but if you haven't subscribed to Peter Boonschaft's blog, he sends it right to your inbox, and it's great. And sometimes it sparks something, and sometimes they're like, yeah, a pearl. I've heard that one before, and he's fantastic, and I just happened to read it today, and I felt like it was something that we might, I don't know, maybe we want to talk about this. So these are Peter Boonschaft's, Dr. Boonschaft's words. The other day, I saw a sign that asked, "What's something you've been meaning to try but just haven't gotten around to?" And it got me thinking and asking myself questions. Well, what's the one thing I want to know but haven't gotten around to doing? What's the one thing I want to be able to do that I haven't gotten around to trying? What's one thing that I wish my students did or I could do that I haven't gotten around to teaching them? What's one thing in my teaching I want to improve and I haven't gotten around to working on? What's the one thing I want my students to see in me that I haven't gotten around to doing? You get the idea. Those questions and dozens more, and we all know the change that we want starts as one tiny step towards that goal. It doesn't need to be profound, gigantic, or even noticeable to anyone else. It just has to happen. And I know that is easier said than done, but it's no less important. Take one question like that and try making one meaningful step in that direction. Then another, one step. So I don't know about you, but I got a serious amount of anxiety after the third sentence of that blog post. And then I was like, oh, okay, we could take one step. We could do that, but at this point in the year, in the school, I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm starting to see the pina coladas in June. I'm just, just kidding. But listen, it's May 1st tomorrow, Eric. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel with the school year.
Yep.
But when I read this, I was like, oh, I do have like 7 or 8 more weeks to do something here at school. I do have 7 or 8 more weeks to make something happen, and maybe pick one more thing that I can fit in this year, or I can improve on for myself, or I can improve on for my students. So, did that spark something for you? Do you have something that you're that you want to see happen for you or your students this year before we depart?
One thing that I really hope they know, or at least I want to be more specific, explicit with them about, is that they can do this without me telling them how. I do a lot of hand holding in my lessons and in band, and probably more than I should. I definitely know that failure is key to learning. And there are times when we sight read stuff and it falls apart and we all have a good laugh and we're like, okay, what do we learn from that? So like, that's okay. But I cue everything in rehearsal. I would love for them to feel confident playing their music, even if they're not getting pointed at. Or enter correctly, even if they're not getting pointed at. Now, that's really specific, but that was something that I've just been thinking about the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they are confident in doing that without me pointing at them.
Okay.
That was very specific.
No,
was that kind of like what you're thinking about when you were reading this?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about. It's like that one thing that it's like, I wish, it says, he said it right here. Like, what's the one thing I wish my student did or could do that I haven't gotten around to teaching them?
Counting
so, like,
freaking rests.
Right. So listen, you can hang on to that little bit of control, but you can, but you can teach them that they can do it. Right. Like you can do that. You could just put your hands down and maybe like reduce it to like a nod. Just like
yes, we'll do the Bernstein.
The Bernstein, just an eyebrow. You get an eyebrow for your entrance, not a full on, whack-a-mole, right? So and I think you could do it. I think you can try. I think you should try it tomorrow. And I don't know. I think it's worth your time because like you'll be like, okay, I tried that. That was horrible, but they learned that like they're relying on me too much.
Yeah.
And I learned that like that they're relying on me too much, like, yes. I don't know.
I'm giving them too much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hand-holding too much.
Listen, like we all, as conductors, especially, right? Like take off the teacher hat, put on the conductor hat. We all kind of fall into that. It's like, if they don't get it from me, well, then where will they get it from? Oh dear God, the music. The composer put it right in their parts. God forbid, right? So like, and that's the like. I think it's totally appropriate with an 8th grade band to put your hands down and just give them a nod once in a while when they really, really need the support, and just see what that feels like for them. Yeah. And and they I don't know. That's an ownership thing. I think you could do it. I think you should. I think you should do it tomorrow.
I will at our next rehearsal. I'm gonna give it a go.
Okay.
What about you, Jen? What were you motivated to do? What's one thing?
Oh, there's like some emails that are dangling out there, like some just like, and I just like keep hitting that's I'm so addicted to that snooze till tomorrow, snooze till later in the week button on Google.
It's the best.
On Gmail. Oh, and I'm like, I'm so guilty. Like I know there are these couple emails that are going to pop up in the next like 24 hours. And I'm like, okay, maybe today's the day that I have to answer. Like that's the thing that's hanging over my head. It's like, okay, I have to get to that thing, and it's like little stuff. But I don't know. It just seems overwhelming every time it pops up, and I'm like, nope, snooze. So I think that tomorrow. I think that's the day. I think this week is the week that I will answer those dangling snooze every other day emails. So yeah. So I don't know. I just found that one kind of interesting and motivational, and I think. We're all triggered into thinking of something, right? As we hear that, and I'm like, he's good.
No, I think it's good, and it's doable. It's a reasonable question,
right? It is.
We're all thinking about the big picture and all the things we want our programs to be, and all the things we want our kids to do and to be, and to take away from us, and to just do that one little thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And just take that one step, answer that one question, try that one thing. Yeah, no, that's good. So
indeed, Jen.
Yep.
We can do this.
We could do this. And our listeners out there, what are you getting motivated to tackle this month? Chime in on social media or Take a Cue podcast at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And if you want to see my dirty looks and funny eyebrows, that's where you got to go. So,
And you can see what Tom looks like.
oh my gosh, yeah, and you get a little Tom cameo. Roxy,
Yeah.
I can't get her up on the couch.
Yeah.
But
Tom's been on before, but our listeners, I don't think I've ever seen Roxy.
no, maybe once on a Freestyle Friday or something. But no, she's
I gotta go back and look.
Yeah, no,
Goes to the back catalog.
oh yeah, that's it. And we might have gotten a Roxy cameo. So yeah.
But yeah, come and interact with us. If you like what you hear, this was kind of just a chat. Jen wrote some notes. I wrote some notes 30 seconds before our episode today.
That's it.
If you want to hear something that has a little bit more of a topic, go and check out some of our other episodes. If you like the freestyle style, we'll definitely do it again.
We could, and go way back and check out the Freestyle Fridays we did in season 2, because those were really fun and light and just very seasonally appropriate, like this one. So
Yes, indeed.
you like, you go.
Oh no, please.
Sorry. Well, if you like what you heard, subscribe and hit that little bell on your Spotify app. You'll get us in your inbox whenever we put something out, and leave us a good rating and review, and so that we end up higher on other people's algorithms too. So
Yeah, we want other people to find out about the cool stuff we're doing here at Take a Cue. And if you like it, make sure that you leave that review and 5-star rating. Jen,
yes.
good luck with your concerts.
Hey, thank you. You too, Eric.
Thank you.
Spring is definitely sprung, and we've got a lot of good music to make in the next month or so. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Indeed. Yeah, it's good. We're definitely going to have another episode or two before the end of the school year. So make sure that you do subscribe so that you get to hear all the cool stuff that happens in Livingston.
Okay, everybody. Well, let's get out there and make some great music.